So I'm going to just use a little gamsol. Dip a little bit. That's good enough. And then how you're going to do that, I'm going to just use a little, very little color. You can use any color. Most of the people use brown color to start the drawing. And the big decision first come with, where is the island? Or maybe where's the boat? Think about that. Where's the boat? So I'm going to put the boats maybe here. I'm going to think about the triangle, right? Like that. Is that where you want the boat to be? And the reflection. The reflection is very interesting, so make sure you have enough room for the reflection. Like this, right? And then you can rearrange everything else around the main object, right? Also going to open, going to okay. I'm looking at the reference here. Just imagine how your painting would look like at the end, and how your main objects you want where you want your main object to be, right? So if you have a audience in your mind, the way you paint a little bit different. And I'm not trying to talk you to sacrifice your personality to try to please other people. But art, it actually have a purpose, and depends on who is gonna looking at it every day. You make sure that person is not gonna get tortured, right? Instead of pleasant by looking at your art. So let's see if this is what you want with the location of your boat. You can use any color you want. You can see that, oh, I need to draw a little bit more, making sure the size of the boats is good. Every other things you can rearrange them. That's okay, like this, right? And now the next thing I want to do is, what about I'm going to push the island a little bit farther away? How about that? Right here. I'm going to get a little bit away, a little bit island over here. And then I'm going to have a little bit smaller if I want to, right? Like this. It's still showing a little bit. And then the top of the water, and it can be over here all the way to the other side. So like that. You can see a little bit blue color over here, right? And then you're gonna think about that is, oh, okay, let me do a little bit more, and over here, and making sure this is what you want, one decision at a time. Don't make multiple decisions. In that case, the result may not be solid. Okay, like this. Okay, and that's right. Don't do the detail. Yeah, maybe have this a little bit higher, like that. Okay, that's fine. But compare with the reference, my boat's already a little bit more away from the island. And we can change the color of the island if you want to. Now we're thinking about if we're going to leave the lighthouse, where I'm going to put it. I think I'm going to put it right here. It's up to you what you want to do. I want to give a little bit more balance, a little bit away from the boat. Something like that. Right? And then there's a lot of reflection over here, right? Now I'm going to use a little bit larger brush. Those are my very favorite. Okay, now I'm gonna just mix a little color. I'm gonna definitely want the water to a little bit more blue. So I'm gonna just take the gamsol. At the beginning, don't add the oil yet. And just put a little color like this. Look, make yourself feel kind of like it's okay to change it. I'm gonna just put a little bit. Oh, that's very dark. I'm gonna see. Just put a little color over here. Look like you don't care, but in fact you do. Just put the color there. And through this exercise, you might come up the idea of, oh, from the accident, I like that color. Ooh, I want to keep it, right? So I'm going to get a little bit more of the, wow, that's very dark, very intense. Okay. Just put it there. That's fine. I'm not sure this is the color I want at the end. I'm going to just move the color over. Okay, like that. Okay. Now I have one color just for placeholder. And I'm going to put a little blue color, a little blue with a little white color, so it look like a little bit light. Just put a little shape over here just for ideas. A little blue color over here. And I'm gonna have a little bit white, and I have a little white color coming up like this. Keep it a little rough, and it's okay, like that. And I'm gonna also put a little white color and just put it a little bit on the reflection. This is not exactly the end of the painting, but I just want to see how I feel, so it make me to make better decisions based on what I see. Okay, now in the sky, I don't want it so bright sky, so I'm gonna take this blue color and I'm gonna mix it with. At first, I'm gonna make it a little lighter, so I'm gonna take the white color, and I want to use a little bit red to see what kind of color you can get to. But now it's get darker. Now I'm gonna have a little bit more white. This time I'm gonna try to do a little bit different. Now take a look at. Is that the color I want? Maybe a little bit more blue. I'm gonna have this color. Is that the color I like? I'm gonna have a little gamsol. And so going to make it a little bit lighter. Like that. And just play with your idea. Don't come to the conclusion too quickly. I'm not sure yet. But I definitely don't like that kind of sky. It's really bright. It's a little bit too innocent. Okay, definitely too dark. So what I want, I'm gonna wipe off. Let's see. Is that the color that you like a little bit better? I'm not sure. So don't come to the conclusion really too quick. Oh. Do I like that better? Keep asking yourself the questions. Okay. What do you think? I kind of like it already. So that means over here, I also need to remove some color. It looks like a bit too dark, too bright. Okay, here you go. Right. Just play with the idea, play with the color composition. And we're not quite sure what is the color for the island. We also need to play with that. I don't want that too bright either, so I'm gonna play with the possibilities. I don't even have anything in my mind of what it should look like, but I don't want the color that bright. So I'm gonna play the color over here to take a look and to see how it look. I'm gonna use different kind of colors to see how it look like, how light it should be. Okay, I'm gonna play with the color. Use a little gamsol. Don't use much oil. Don't use oil at the beginning even. Don't add the oil. Just like this. Just put the color in here to see how it look like. Think a little bit more. You don't have to do that much, but think more. I'm gonna put a little color in here. Squint your eye if you can. Okay. This is very light. It looks like similar to the way you're doing watercolor, right? It just use the gamsol. How'd that look? I'm gonna wipe off a little bit over here, just with the brush. I'm gonna wipe off a little bit over here too. As you are just starting the oil painting practice, I want you to try to adopt a little bit easier, proper, more flexible practice. Okay, over here like that, I'm gonna have a little bit darker color over here, coming all the way. Look at my brush stroke. It has intentional. And a little bit darker color on this side is okay because we want the boat to stand out as the main object. So the color less bright, I want to keep that less bright, but I also want to make it a little bit different from the sky. And now, speaking of the sky, I'm gonna come back here to just get a piece of my paper towel. I'm gonna give a little testing. Say that's the cloud. Oh, interesting. I cannot lift it anymore, huh? The gamsol is dry so quick, so I'm gonna use the brush. I'm gonna just make it a little lighter. Oh, you can do that with the brush, but the towel, paper towel, cannot do it. I'm gonna have a little bit, lift it up a little bit, like that, and have a little bit darker blue color on the top, like this. And there's just two horizontal, so I'm gonna remove that. Maybe I'm gonna make this a little bit softer. That's alright. Okay. Maybe a little bit like that coming this way. Let's see how soft you want it to be. Now I'm going to come to add a little white color for the sail. Okay, now I'm gonna just put a little white color right here. Just a little bit thicker, like that. Here you go. And a little white color over here too. Start a painting with a little bit more playful. Okay. And a little bit white. I need more white color. A little bit white at the front over here. Here you go. Okay. And a little bit white color at the front over here. A little bit straight. Like that. There you go. Okay, a little bit darker color. A little brown. And put a little bit color on at the bottom over here. Here you go, like that. Just give a little bit suggestions. It looks like something over here. I'm gonna put a little dot. You see some of the painting that you see, they are very, very specific. They just put a few dots over there and then they call the painting. And that's how they started. I'm gonna put a little mark over here, like that, to see how it look. Even though we're going to continue painting and make more colors, thicker a little bit later. But this is how you're gonna play with the scenario. I'm gonna have a little bit light color for the, but I'm not gonna make it too light. Okay, a little bit over there, and maybe a little bit kind of gray color, and put something over here. Paint it with a little thicker color. Now I'm gonna take the white color and take a look at. I also need some blue color. I'm gonna get a little pleasant blue. That's good. Now I'm going to start mixing the color. Now let's talk about how to mix color. You mix a certain color, you go with what is closest to the color that you're looking for. Obviously, it is the white and the blue color, right? So I'm going to mix these two colors together. And we're going to get the color, oh, but it's a little bit too bright. How you're going to make it less bright? By using the minimum color palette. I'm going to take a little red color. Okay. Now the color fewer. Oh, there's too much red. It's very strong. Now I'm going to get a little bit blue. Okay, that's good enough. Now I'm going to get a little bit white color. Okay. The value of the color is very important. Now I'm going to have a little bit more blue. Just keep testing between these three colors, the red, blue, and white. And obviously this color needs to be a little bit more lighter. Okay, now take a look. Oh, this is good. It looks exactly the color what I intended to. So now I'm gonna paint it the color, make it a little bit more solid, but I don't want to make it too thick. You see that? I just kind of scramble the paint into the linen of the canvas. See, just moving it around and moving the color in. Maybe later I'm gonna give a little bit brush stroke, but right now the first layer I'm just going to have the color in to the space of the sky like that. Okay, I can paint it into the space of the sail. It's okay. Now the color look a lot more pretty. I'm gonna continue, and this you can remove a cover the lighthouse. Here you go. Now I'm going to remove this. So whatever we had is just only an exercise for our decision, our mind. I'm going to get a little bit more color. Okay, cover that. Even cover that white color over here. Now it's a lot more prettier. Now let's take a look. And take a look at the top of the sky. Need to make maybe a little bit more blue. I'm going to take a little bit more blue over here. Make it a little bit darker. And let's take a look. Alright. Make it a little bit blue. But not too much. That's good enough on the top over there. I'm going to gradually blend it a little bit lighter coming down. That's good. Now, if some unintentional brush strokes already there, that's fine. I'm gonna get a little bit white color and mix this. Okay, I'm gonna have that. Make a little thicker color. That's fine. Alright, that's the sky. Take a look at the color. Okay. That's one. Now I'm going to start add the color to the water. Right. I'm going to use the same brush. I'm going to use a little bit more blue and mix it in here. I'm going to take a look at it, may be a little bit white. Like that. Let's take a look at this very similar color. And so I'm going to paint a little bit darker color before get a little bit lighter shape. You may be thinking about that, why you have to do that, and can you just leave the thin color on the canvas? Yeah, you can, but the color doesn't look mature enough, I would say. So you need to have the color a little bit thicker to make it a better statement. Okay, I'm gonna have this. And allow yourself also make some changes, but you don't have to cover everything. Sometimes the artists, they wanted to have a little bit more sketchy feeling in the painting, so they cover some, but intentionally leave something there and not covered. I'm gonna have a little bit blue color on this side. Okay, but scramble and making sure it's a little bit lighter. Earlier we talked about, when we're doing the review, that the brush stroke is very important. And in fact, you don't have to thinking about the brush stroke. The brush stroke sometimes is unintentional but naturally created. I'm gonna just put that color, put that in here. That's good. So it's the same color as outside. That's the water here. That's fine. And the front over here, I might just leave it. Leave a little light over there, that's okay. Probably a little bit darker color. Okay, so I have a little bit thicker color, but don't need to make it too thick. Anybody, any questions? Well, when we are painting oil, we go with the nature of the oil. If you get it too thick in the beginning, it's very difficult for you to make changes. And that your question is valid, is correct. And also, later and later, you're going to get the color thicker and thicker as you intentionally making a bolder statement. But at the beginning, when it's not necessary to be thick, you make it thick. It just make your technique that you're going to use a little bit limited. And also the timing. If you want to finish that in an hour, 2 hours, will become very difficult. You have to get a pile very thick color on the top and very thick color so that you can create a different colors or maybe lighter color or darker color because your canvas is already very wet and it will take days or a month to dry. So you try to go with the process of from lean to fat. Lean, that means a very little fat. so get a little bit later and later you're gonna get thicker and thicker color, and also you're gonna get even add a little bit more oil to it, and more paint. You're gonna also have more oil because that's what the color came from with the oil in from the tube, and it would make you feel better and more intentional. Just gradually adding more and more color, thick and thicker paint, more and more oil introduced to the painting, but don't make it thick and right from the beginning. It make it difficult to render. Okay. And now at this point, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a little bit smaller brush. And I'm going to take this blue color with the white and make it look closer enough to the sky value. I'm going to change that from what I see from the reference. So I'm going to over here. Now you can see this color a little bit lighter than the color at the front, right here. Make it horizontal. That's fine. And that actually making it, this is your creative decision. And I'm going to put a little bit, this a little bit closer, so it can be a little bit more blue color, and the front here. Okay, like that. You don't have to make everything look so flat. It's okay. Like that's one color there. You see how easy when it a little bit more lean. I'm gonna have a little color over here too. Sometimes you just make a little bit thicker color from here. If I'm gonna have a little white color, here you go. Now I can see that I'm gonna pile this color up. Now I'm gonna just put it right here. That's one stroke, and maybe the front over here have the little color, break out this shape over here, make it feel like there are different rocks. Okay, maybe over here in a little bit, and maybe over here in a little bit, like that. That's good. All right, now we have the color there. That's pretty good. The next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start add a little bit shade, a little darker shade into the water. Now I'm gonna get a little bit smaller and smaller. I'm just gonna put this blue color because the color is already dark enough. I'm gonna just do it like that, similar to what we're doing for watercolor. Oh my God, that is a little bit too dark. So I'm gonna have to mix a little white color. Okay, that's good. Again, and like that. Just look at the accents of the shape. Here you go, like this. Just put it on, tap on it, and when it get a little bit more and more away, it get a little bit lighter and lighter. And I think that color is okay. Get a little bit closer to us. We can have a little bigger shape, a little bit more details. It's okay. Now in the front over here, like that, I can have a little bit more blue. Add the shape closer to us. Do you have a chance to look at what I'm doing? Here you go. Okay. I tap on it. Just put a little shape over here. You don't have to make it exactly look like the reference. And over here is have a little bit longer, darker shape. I'm gonna have a little bit darker the front. I'm gonna just take the blue color. I'm gonna have something really dark over here. It's a little bit dark over here too, like that. And right under the bow, I just gonna use the darker blue color right over here. See that? That's good. And the edge over here. Now I'm going to. Now this is quite a bit of preparation on the water. It looks pretty good. I'm gonna clean up my brush. I'm gonna come into do a little color to the island, and then I'm gonna come back to the sail to put the white color on the top. So the reason I do this first, because I'm going to paint the island, I probably have the color even get into the sails, so that when I do that on top of it, I have a better indication. The edge of the sail need to stand out, right? Okay. All right, look at here. I'm gonna use this brush, this number 4, a little bit bigger. We'll come back to the details a little bit later. Now, take a look. You're not looking. Okay, all right. Keep that way. I'm gonna get a little bit brown color. Keep a little yellow color. You see, just keep thinking about that color. But this color a little bit too bright. I'm gonna get a little blue color. So when you get a complementary color, the color get a little bit more neutral, right? Now I'm gonna come here. Now take a look at how I use the brush. And I'm gonna just have a little color, like it just glided from the side of the brush. That's fine. That color actually looks okay. And a little bit on this side, I'm gonna just apply a little color, which use the side of the brush. A little bit over here, so you can see the rock a little bit more dimension. Okay, just touch it. That's okay. Right. Now as I already have more suggestions, I'm gonna have a little bit blue color. Watch me. I'm gonna have a little blue color on this side, like that. Actually, that look a little bit interesting. Okay. And don't ask me why did you do that? How do you do that? Okay, because you're not looking. I'm going to add a little bit crack. I'm just going to use the edge, the tip of the brush. Now let's take a look. I don't really like that kind of coming this angle, so I'm going to just have a little bit shape like that. I'm going to have a little bit shape over here. I don't want to make it too dark either. I'm going to have a little crack. Okay, and the top over here, I'm going to have a little bit dry texture. Okay, like that. I'm going to just make a little texture. and the bottom. And let's see, that might be too much texture, so I'm going to get a little white color and mix it into here. I'm going to get back some little details. Now add a little bit detail with that. Oh, I love that. Just over here, need to break it a little bit. Now I'm going to add a little bit brown color. You see, just use the side of the brush. Okay, I'm going to come in even into the sails, and on this side I'm going to have a little bit over here too. I have a little crack coming in like that. So I need to take care of the background before I come back to the sails. It's not a lot we have to do. At the bottom, I'm going to make it a little bit darker. Just add the brown and the blue color together. Obviously, you need a little bit red, a little bit, so make it feel a little bit darker. I'm going to get a little bit blue color. Okay, watch. I'm going to, at the bottom over here, I'm going to have this dark color. See how I hold the brush. I'm going to have the dark color. And over here a little bit darker too. Now you probably get the idea why I leave the sails to do it later. I'm gonna have this color also make it at the bottom. You're so happy. Okay, a little bit darker here. Okay, and just feel if the color is right. But I think this is a little bit too heavy, so I'm gonna come back here to break it a little bit, and that's probably good enough, right? And now we're gonna do a little reflection. Now first I'm gonna actually have a little color on the top over here, a little bit more clear. Now I'm gonna have the same color in the reflection. Watch, like that. And on this side have a little bit brown mixed into that, have a little bit reflection. Oh, I need to be darker, have a little bit more brown, like that. Here you go, going through, so make it feel like a reflection, and also with the texture that it'll be perfect. I'm gonna have a little bit dry brush, like that, have a little bit brown color, and also on this side a little brown color. Just tap the color over there, that will be fine, and whatever it look like, it will be fine. I'm gonna have a little brown color underneath. I don't want to have too much of dry brush, a bit more like that, and maybe also have a little bit details at the bottom. Now I think that's fine. And the last thing we are going to do, unless you want to change the color on the island, and maybe have a little bit color over here. You see, I'm gonna have this coming like this, a little bit, just the edge. I'm gonna dry a little bit like that. That's good. Now we're gonna finish the painting. Take a look. Now before I painted the boat, I'm gonna use the brown color, a darker brown color. So you gotta take the brown color, make sure it's enough paint. Look, I'm gonna painting on the boat, top of the boat. That is need to be thicker color, and I'm gonna have a little bit light blue color. You see this a little fabric on top of the boat over there, but it's not really white. Okay, I'm gonna just use the corner. Now here you go. I'm gonna put it right on the top of here, like that. That's good enough. That's a little suggestions. Now I'm gonna come to paint the white color on the boat. I'm gonna take this, look, put that white color right over there, right over here. It's thick enough. Now this gonna start using thicker color, and from here glide it, and that's perfect. Now because the blue color over there is still a little wet, right? This is good. Now I'm gonna do the thicker paint. Look at me. It's how much paint is. Right? You see how much paint? Can you see? Lots of paint, right? I'm gonna just put it here. I'm gonna start over here. Put the color closer. I'm gonna put a little color over here, the leftover over here. I'm gonna come back here. You don't have to make it like a very smooth and look like a photograph. Coming all the way here. That's good. I'm gonna come this color coming down. I already have some thin color over here. I'm gonna keep it, and I'm also gonna merge into that too. Okay. Oh, actually I like that. I'm gonna have this coming down like this. That's fine. A little texture like that. I'm gonna have this coming up a little bit. Now I'm gonna push this color up over here as well, and then I'm going to have this maybe open it up a little bit and coming a little bit softer. Oh wow. And maybe just gonna keep it like that. Maybe a little bit light color on the top over here. I'm gonna have that a little bit clear, and over here a little bit clear like that. Okay, there's a little bit texture over here. I do like it. I'm gonna keep it like that. And now on this side I'm gonna also have a little bit more clear and clean. Look at that, like this. Okay, you're getting there. And this will need to be softer, so I'm gonna add just the clean brush. I'm gonna blend this blue color in here. You see, you're blending that blue color. Oh, I do like that texture. I'm gonna keep it. Now I'm gonna change my brush to a smaller, and I'm gonna get a little bit darker blue color and a little bit darker blue on the top. I'm gonna get a little bit red mixed into the blue color, and here you go. Watch me, that's very important. Okay, on the top here, and I'm gonna put that dot, and then coming down over here. Now expect that the color actually merge into the white color. Now I'm gonna clear my brush, start over, continue, coming over here a little bit. That's good. Now I'm gonna have a little blue color, and coming down from here, maybe not so bright. I'm gonna have this. That's the beginning of the catch the shadow. I'm gonna merge that into that color. Also move that too much white color. Now it's good. Move that in here. I'm gonna have a little bit more blue because I want it to be look sharper. A little bit sharper. Catch the shadow. Now on this side, coming like this. Coming this way. Yes, you go. Like that. Okay, now the sail is getting there. And I probably need a little white color because I want this side a little bit clear, sharper, and also coming over here, and I have a little line like that. That's good enough. Okay. And on the other side, I see that I probably need a little suggestions. I'm going to get a little white color. I'm going to start over here. I'm going to expand this. Expand that, coming out a little bit. Like this. And have a little blue color coming up from the edge. Oh, that's good. Just keep it like that. Now I'm going to put a little bit more brown color. And I'm going to make this a little clear. That's good. And I'm going to have a little bit darker color over here too. And a little bit showing the bottom. And I'm going to also add some shape. Make it feel like some figure over here. Okay, you don't have to make it too clear. And maybe a little bit darker figure. There's the brown and the blue color. I'm going to make this look a bit like that. And I'm going to skip the flag. And at the bottom over here, I'm going to have a little bit blue color showing the little shadow. Just a little blue color come up. That's good. And I do want a little bit more blue color on this side and make the shadow a little bit more interesting. Okay, that's good enough. Now the next thing I'm gonna do a couple things. One is the top over here. I'm gonna make it a little bit sharper. That's good. Perfect. And I probably supposed to have a little line, so I'm gonna have this little big line like this. Ready. Do a couple practice. Oh, not too bad. It's just a little bit too much at the bottom, so I'm gonna use the white color. I'm gonna shrink that line a little bit smaller, like that, and that's good. And now I'm going to use a little bit larger brush. This will be great. Now the last thing I'm going to do a little bit thicker paint. You see that how much paint in my brush? Now I'm going to do the reflection. Just the dry brush like this. Okay, a little dry brush. You see that? On top of the shadow. Look before you paint. A little dry brush. Okay, now a little bit over here looks like a little bit gray, so I'm gonna use just the brush, just merge that a little bit. I can merge that together. Maybe a little gray, so get a little bit brown color. The brown color with the blue, and maybe just have a little bit red too. Okay, too much red. I'm gonna merge that a little bit. Now this have a little bit feeling of the gray color connect to the highlight. Now that's good. Now we need to come back with the darker blue color to put back a little shadow. Like that. Here you go. A little bit like that. So if you think the water, it looks fine, that would be good. And I'm gonna here make it a little bit softer. I'm gonna have a little blue color instead. Make a little bit. Oh, use the white, mix the blue color, the lighter blue color. And I'm gonna have this color need to be lighter. I'm gonna take a little white color. Here you go, a little bit. That's good. Now cover the color that I don't want it to show a little defect. And now you can have a little lighter color actually on top of the water. You can see there's a little lighter color. That is the color from the sky. And I think the painting, you can say, is finished. I'm gonna have a little bit blue color, lighter blue. I'm gonna put it here, a little bit lighter color. That's good. And if you want at the top over here, you can have a little bit clear shape and get a little white color mixed into this, a little bit orange, light brown color. And you can put a little shape over here on the edge, because that make it a little bit more interesting. On the side here, good. Oh, if you want to have a little bit more green, I'm gonna mix the little bit yellow with the blue. I'm gonna have a little green over here, maybe a little green in the background. Wow, there's a little green over here too. Okay. Oh wow, do you know, we also need some white cloud, do we? Up to you. I'm gonna get a little bit the white and just tap on it like this, and maybe a little bit over here. Make it some variety. Okay, maybe a little bit over here too, a little bit bigger.